Why haven't we sent a message yet to Putin?
We're sending a message. We have the capacity to do it, and the message
He'll know it?
He'll know it, and it'll be at the time of our choosing and under the circumstances that have the greatest impact.
Now, that's Vice President Joe Biden revealing how he says the U.S. plans to send that message to Russia over the country's believed meddling in our presidential election by its alleged hacking into the DNC, top officials' emails, and some believe even state election systems. This comes as we learn the CIA is looking into potential covert cyber operations. Russian President Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, said earlier this week that the focus on who did the hacking, he says, is misplaced.
Everyone is talking about who did it, but is it that important who did it? The most important thing is what is inside this information.
So how do we respond? Retired U.S. Navy Captain Chuck Nash, Fox News military analyst, joins us now. Captain Nash, always good to see you. I mean, all through the years that we've talked to each other, we've talked about attacks against this nation, the wars we've suffered from, radical Islamic terrorism, and this potentially is an unprecedented foreign government attack against us to try and influence our election, the very tenets of our democracy, and what this republic stands for. Why do you think, first of all, if that is the case, this is such a threat?
Well, first off, the biggest threat is the vice president flapping his lips, telling the Russians that we're going to launch. Basically, he's confirming press reports that we're going to launch a cyber attack. Cyber is a secret world. You don't just, the whole purpose of it is to get something done without having fingerprints on it. You don't sit there and tell the Russians you're going to do it for two reasons. One, what if we do it? What's their response going to be? Do we keep going back and forth until we shut each other's power grids down? Who's going to blink first? Or do we take it all the way to kinetic war? That's insane. Second thing is, what if we don't do it? Is that another red line that we cross? Or how about this? How about we don't do it, but somebody else decides to use the opportunity that Vice President Biden teed up for him? What if they do it and then the Russians retaliate against us? I mean, this administration, they can't keep their mouths shut.
You know, he was asked that question by Chuck Todd, and you know, both sides know they do it to each other. You know, everyone knows at the Security Council, they know they're getting bugged and hacked, and everyone's watching this spy versus spy.
Yeah.
Why didn't he say no comment?
You know, like I said, these guys, they can't keep their mouth shut. They got to spike the ball. It was Vice President Biden who outed a particular SEAL team for their operation and the whole bin Laden thing. I mean, stay off TV. Stay off TV. So, just, you know, and the other thing is this email hacking thing with Podesta's emails hacked. What really happened is they're in a peak of anger right now because the DNC was hacked and they found all this nasty stuff going on. Well, the other thing that went on was that it showed that the president lied on TV to the American public, because the Podesta emails show that he said, oh, no, the public record is, I learned about this from watching it on the news. No, he didn't. The Podesta emails clearly show that he was emailing Hillary Rodham Clinton at Clinton Mail well before this whole thing broke. So that's when he knew about it. That is what's happening here. And now, because of this peak of embarrassment, these guys are really saying stuff and doing things they should not be doing.
And despite the peak of embarrassment, what if it is the Russians? I mean, has this happened before? How do we respond? What should we actually do? I mean, this really actually is a case that could potentially violate the sanctity and our sovereignty of this nation if they're trying to, especially in Illinois and Arizona, the reports of suspected Russian hacks of the voting registration system.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what you do? You do things. Whatever happened? Remember the Iranian nuclear program that was hacked?
Yep.
And all of a sudden a virus was put in? Who did that? We don't know. There is ambiguity in that. That's the whole purpose of cyber. You don't say, we're going to launch a cyber attack against you because you've opened the door, because we're trying to figure out as a nation, the United States right now is trying to figure out, is a cyber attack an act of war? We're still literally,
do you think it is?
Lawyers are trying to figure it out.
Do you think it is? I mean, what do you think it is, and what quickly should we do?
It depends on what you do. If you do a cyber attack and shut down the power grid, what's the difference between that and bombing the power grid? It's just the means to get it done.
What if we,
but the
what if we
net effect
hack,
is the same.
What if we hack Putin's emails and show stuff that he does?
Yeah, well, first off, now, no matter who hacks Putin's emails and sends it out there, it's going to be us. Why? Because the Vice President of the United States said, we're going to do it, and he's going to get the message, and it's going to be on our own time. So stand by.
All right, we'll be standing by and see how this plays out. It's tremendously troubling, especially as it relates to the principles of our democracy that we hold so dear. Chuck Nash, always good to see you. Thank you.
You bet, Eric.
Of course.